Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So you join me here at Douglas Charles Airport in Dominica, and Carnival is over. It's time to go home. So today we are doing a flight from Dominica over to Antigua. LIAT flight here, bringing people back to Antigua after Dominica Carnival. So here we are at Melville Hall Airport. A little bit of weather in the area. There is some slight drizzling going on, and we can see the little FedEx caravan behind us. So let's hop into our aircraft. The passengers are already boarded, and let's get ready to hit the skies here. Let's go. All right, so here we are inside of our aircraft. Like I said, aircraft's already boarded. Let's go ahead and close the doors. Close the cargo door, close the main door. Head back outside, doors are closed, and let's get ready for departure here. Let's jump up to the overhead. So aircraft is already on, batteries are on, we're connected to ground power right now. Fuel was loaded. Let's get the fuel pumps turned on. Let's get the nav light on, strobe lights already on, wing lights on already. Let's go, seatbelt signs come on, no device sign, and arm the door. Main oxygen supply can come on. Get some lights on the overhead. That all looks good. And let's go ahead and get Beyond ATC going. Let's request our IFR clearance here.
LIAT 020, ready to copy IFR clearance to VC Bird.
LIAT 020, Douglas Charles Tower, expect runway 09 or Carrot 1 departure, point of Pitter transition, initial climb to 6,000 feet, squawk 3750.
Alright, so Carrot 1 departure, transition PPR, and we're squawking 3750.
Carrot 1 departure, point to Pitter transition, squawk 3750, LIAT 020.
LIAT 020, read back correct. Call me back when ready for starter taxi.
Wilco, LIAT 020.
Alright, so let's jump down here to the flight box. We already have our flight plan set here in the box, and you can see how that changes on the screen here. So we're taking off runway 09, heading to Carrot, and making some turns over the water there. Transition at PPR, and then into Antigua. Again, short flight over to Antigua. So that's all already in the flight box. All of our perf stuff is already all set. V1 is 108. So that looks good. 108 knots, 113 knots. All right. All looks good there. Let's jump back to the flight plan. Everything is ready to go. Let's request startup.
LIAT 020, at gate 3 request engine start.
LIAT 020, startup approved, call when ready for taxi.
All right, startup is
Affirm,
approved.
startup approved, LIAT 020.
All right, so startup is approved. Let's go to our overhead. Take a look at that. Let's get our beacon lights turned on as we get ready to start her up. Let's put start AB on. That all looks good. Everything is all set here. They got us climbing to 6,000 feet. We'll set it in the box in a second. Let's get these bad boys spinning up. All right, so let's go start engine 2. Clear prop, all clear. All right, we're looking for about 10% on the NH. We already have that, up to 15%. Let's go ahead and introduce fuel to the prop. All right. That's all good, and there she goes. She starts to spin up. Looking good. All right, one good start. That's all good. Let's go ahead and start the second engine while we're here. That one's all stable. Again, same thing. We're looking for about 10% here on the NH. All right, let's introduce fuel now. And she should start spinning up. Look at that. Beautiful. All right, 2 good engine starts. That's all good. Let's go ahead and get rid of the wheel chocks. Let's disconnect from ground power. And let's dismiss the ground power here. All right, aircraft is on. Everything looks good. Like I said, they had us going up to 6,000 feet. So we're going to go ahead and use our autopilot over here to 6,000 feet. There we go. 6,000 is set. That all looks good. Let's get the taxi lights turned on. Get starter off. Start AB is off. All right, let's just jump back to the overhead here. So seatbelt signs on. Doors are armed. Main oxygen supply is on. Everything on the overhead here looks good. Oh, one more thing we didn't do is our squawk code. So let's make sure we're squawking the right thing here. They had a squawk in 3750. That looks good. Enter key on that. Turn it on. All right, that looks good. 2 good engine starts. Go back to our ND here map. All right, looking good, looking good. Review our performance here. Like I said, 108, 108, 113. That all looks good. Let's just go ahead and set our takeoff trim. That's good. Now we have 1.2 up. All right, looking good. I believe we're ready for taxi to runway. So let's go ahead and request that.
LIAT 020, ready to taxi to the active.
LIAT 020, runway 09er, taxi at pilot's discretion.
All right, taxi at my discretion.
Runway 09er, taxi my discretion. LIAT 020.
We got taxi clearance. I believe we're all good here to go. Everything looks good. Let's go ahead and put in 1 notch of flaps here. There the flaps go. Looking good. All right, we're ready to roll. We got taxi clearance and taxi instructions at our discretion here. All right, let's go ahead and release the parking brake. Let's get head tracking turned back on. That all looks good. Let's go parking brake can come off. Oh, yeah, I like that distance better. All right, parking brake is off. Feet are on the brakes. Let's get the prop to auto. That all looks good. All right, let's get rolling here. Get a little bit of juice. Remove our feet from the brakes. And let's get rolling. We're taking off runway 09. Saying goodbye to Dominica. And now it's time to go to Antigua. So we're gonna take our passengers here to Antigua. Let's get our left turn onto runway 09. Make sure nobody's on the runway, nobody's on final. That all looks good. All right, runway 09, head into Antigua. Let's continue our taxi here. As we get onto the runway, let's get our landing lights on. Taxi lights can come off. All right, like you can see, the runway is a little damp there. There was some rain falling a second ago. Look good, looking good. All right. Let's get a little bit more power on the taxi. All right, backtracking runway 09 as we prepare for takeoff. Flight attendants, please be seated. We're ready to rock and roll. 6,000 feet is set. Let's RIAS. That's all good. Let's just get speed set there. All right, let's go ahead and slow down as we get ready for our turn here. Could use some more of the runway if we wanted to, but this is only the ATR-42. Should have more than enough runway there to go. All right, as we get lined up here. Satisfied with that. All right, let's go. Throttle cam to come back on. Let's get the idle gate off. Come on. Oh, I gotta lower this. Take the idle gate off. All right, let's request departure here from Beyond ATC.
LIAT 020, holding short, runway 09er.
LIAT 020, Douglas Charles Tower, wind variable, runway 09er cleared for takeoff.
All right, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 09er cleared for takeoff. LIAT 020.
Reset our head-in bug, straight ahead. All right, prop is good. Let's go full on the prop there. We got control cam back up. Everything looks good in the overhead. 6,000 feet armed. IAS mode armed. Head in home mode. Okay, let's go takeoff, baby. Let's go flying. Head into Antigua. Stay on the runway center line here. And she comes up on her own. Let's rotate. Positive rate, gear can come up.
LIAT 020, contact the raise at departure 121.3.
Alright, acknowledge
Contact
that.
the raise at departure 121.3, LIAT 020.
Looking good, looking good.
The raise at LIAT 020, 600 feet.
LIAT 020, the raise at departure, identified, climb to flight level 100.
Retract our flaps. Flight level
Climb to flight level 100, LIAT 020.
10,000 feet. Get that set. Alright, 10,000 feet is set. Let's go ahead and start making our first left turn here. Meanwhile, let's set climb thrust. Alright, we're in the climb power mode. Start making our slight left here as we continue to climb out. Looking good so far. Flaps are retracted. Continuing to climb here into the clouds. Looking good, looking good. Let's continue to hand fly through this first waypoint as we head into the clouds. Get her LNAV mode armed. Alright, just took off from Douglas Charles Airport in Dominica, heading to Antigua. Bringing these passengers back to Antigua after Dominica Carnival. So far so good. Watch the speed, climbing a little too aggressive there. Let's go ahead and go autopilot can't come on. IAS mode and LNAV.
LIAT 020, contact Pyreco radar 123.7.
Alright, contact
Contact
Pyreco.
Pyreco radar 123.7 LIAT 020.
Alright, and now it's on
Pyreco
frequency.
radar, LIAT 020, crossing 7,600 feet for flight level 100 directed ver.
LIAT 020, Pyreco radar, radar contact, climb to flight level 120.
Alright, climb to flight level 120.
Climb to flight level 120, LIAT 020.
Alright, 12,000 feet set. Continuing to climb nicely here. We are in climb power. Everything's looking good here from the flight deck. Let's get the props into auto as she continues to climb. That's all good. Just about to pass 10,000 feet. Let's go. Landing lights can't come off. So far, so good there. Beautiful, beautiful flight. Lots of clouds today. Alright, we're continuing to climb to 12,000 feet. Everything looks good from up here. Just above 11,000 feet now. As we continue to climb to 12,000 feet. Just about to hit 12,000 feet in a second, as you can see here. Once we hit 12,000 feet, we'll turn off the seatbelt sign, get the aircraft into cruise power. All right, Alt star, Alt. That's all good. Let's go into cruise power and bring the props to notch. Bring the power to notch. There we go. That all looks good. Let's get the anti-ice on so the aircraft could stop crying about that. Stop seeing the alert for that. 12,000 feet, looking good as we head over to Antigua. Turn the seatbelt sign off. Passengers are free to move around the cabin as they see fit. All right, over to our right there, that is the French island of Marie-Galante. Just a little northeast of Dominica.
French West 14 Bravo Foxtrot. Contact Raise-It approach 129.8.
Contact Raise-It approach 129.8 French West 14 Bravo Foxtrot.
Alright, so we're now flying over the island of Guadeloupe, French island. Here in the Caribbean. There's one of their airports. I'm not sure if that's the international airport. Might be. I've just flown over
Pyreco
that.
radar, Wiggins 8116. Good afternoon. Flight level 063.
Wiggins 8116. Pyreco radar identified.
As we continue on to Antigua. flying through some thick clouds here. Visibility just flew out the window, literally. Still looking good here. Antigua is coming up in a bit.
Air Transat 739, contact San Juan Oceanic Control 128.65.
Center on 128.65, Air Transat 739.
So we just flew over Guadalupe. Now we are over the ocean and heading to Antigua. 12,000 feet in cruise. Looking good. Alright, we're slowly approaching our top of descent, as you can see.
LIAT 020,
Here.
radar vectors, RNAV runway 07. Report ready for descent.
And just like clockwork, we could report when ready for descent. Let's report when we're ready now.
Radar vectors,
Get
RNAV
ahead of
runway
it.
07, ready for descent. LIAT 020.
LIAT 020, DC Bird Airport landing runway 07.
PC Bird Airport, landing runway 07, LIAT 020.
LIAT 020, descend to flight level 070.
Descent to flight level 070, LIAT 020.
Alright.
LIAT 020, turn left, heading 285 vectors for the approach.
Turn left, heading 285, LIAT 020.
So let's start to descend here to 070 as instructed. Get the throttle pulled back to just about idle. Additionally, let's turn to a heading of 285 as they start giving us vectors in for the RNAV 07 approach. Alright, 285 is set on the heading bug. So we're going away from our magenta line here, and we're now flying the vectors in as we descend here. Let's continue to get a nice descent going to 7,000 feet. We're going to come all the way down to 2,500 feet. And as we're about to pass through 10,000, let's get our landing lights
turn
on.
right, heading 340.
Turn right, heading 340. No
Turn
problem.
right, heading 340, LIAT 020.
LIAT 020 QNH1017, expect radar vectors for RNAV runway 07.
Acknowledge that.
QNH1017, expect radar vectors for RNAV runway 07, LIAT 020.
Alright, so far so good. We're descending to about 7,000 feet. Landing lights are back on. We never put the seatbelt sign back on. Let's get that on. Everybody start getting their seats as we descend into Antigua. Looking good. Coming down to 7,000 feet. Overhead looks good. Landing lights are on. About 177 knots here. Looking good. They're going to vector us in for RNAV 07 approach. So, see that there in a second. About to level out at 7,000 feet.
Caribbean Airlines 281, climb to flight level 180.
Climb to flight level 180, Caribbean Airlines 281.
just about 7,000 feet in a second. Let's go ahead and bring the power back in slightly so we don't lose too much airspeed as we level off. So far, so good. Alright, looking good here. Level at 7,000 feet as we begin our descent here into Antigua.
LIAT 020, descend to flight level 050.
Alright. Acknowledge that.
Descend to flight level 050, LIAT 020.
Alright, so they got us coming down to 5,000 feet. Let's go ahead and get that rolling. 5,000 feet. Let's go ahead and reduce the throttle here so we don't overspeed. Reduce that to idle and continue our descent to 5,000 feet. As we get established, we got to be at about 2,500 feet, as we could see over here at Imali. We got to be at about 2,500 feet or above. So that's all good there. Let's continue to reduce our speed. Put the throttles at idle. And once we're in flap range, we go ahead and start bringing in some flaps. So far, so good here. As we descend through the clouds, waiting on our next vector in.
LIAT 020, descend to 4,000 feet, QNH 1017.
4,000 feet.
Descend to 4,000 feet, QNH 1017, LIAT 020.
LIAT 020, turn left heading 325.
Turn left, heading
Turn left, heading 325, LIAT 020.
Get one notch of flaps in, 325. Alright, so we have one notch of flaps set. Turn to left to head in the 325, and we're coming down to 4,000 feet as instructed by ATC. Let's get control cam back on. Here we are, back in the cockpit. There's external view. You can see one notch of flaps already set.
LIAT 020, descend to 3,800 feet.
Yes, sir.
Descend to 3,800 feet, LIAT 020.
Vertical
LIAT
speed load still armed.
020, 6 miles from Imali, turn right, heading 040, maintain 2,500 feet until established on the final approach course. Cleared RNAV runway 07.
Yes, sir. Returning right.
Turn right, heading 040, 2,500 feet until established. Cleared RNAV runway 07, LIAT 020.
Heading down to 2,500
Caribbean
feet.
Airlines 281, cleared
Heading
direct
to
limbo,
040
resume on
right
navigation.
now.
Roger, heading direct limbo, then resume on navigation. Caribbean
good,
Airlines
looking
281,
good.
thanks.
So far, so good.
Caribbean Airlines 281, turn right, heading 355.
Turn right, heading 355,
Another notch
Caribbean
of flaps
Airlines
in.
281.
Second notch of flaps is in. That's all good. Let's
Pyreco
arm.
radar, French West 3 Delta Oscar, flight level 128.
French West 3 Delta Oscar, Pyreco radar, radar contact.
Alright, we're in the final approach course here. Getting down to 2,500 feet. Just continue to descend here. Watch our speed before we
Island
stall
ways
out.
325, descend to flight level 110.
Descend to flight level 110, Island Ways 325.
Let's get the wipers turned on as we fly through some weather there. Starting to lose a lot of airspeed, but we're coming down to 2,500 feet. Now let's not overspeed the aircraft with the flaps on. Let's be mindful of that. Let's watch that. Alright, looking good, looking good. Of course the rain has already stopped. Let's get the wipers turned back off. Alright, looking good here. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Turn the head in slightly that way. Yep. Looking good, head in. Leave the approach, head into 073. That's all good. So far, so good. Looking good here. Coming in to Antigua.
LIAT 020, contact V. Seabird Tower 119.1.
Alright, let's contact tower.
Contact Tower 119.1 LIAT 020.
Announcer on the frequency there at the tower.
Seabird Tower, LIAT 020, RNAV runway 07.
LIAT 020, the Seabird Tower, wind 065 at 16, runway 07 cleared to land.
Ooh, there's a landing clearance, cleared to land.
Runway 07 cleared to land, LIAT 020.
Yeah, we gotta remember we're not flying an Airbus in the traditional sense, even though ATR is now owned by Airbus. Alright, let's set power to TO power, which is takeoff power. That looks good. Cleared to land. Let's go my aircraft. Autopilot coming off as we continue our descent here. Nice and easy. Watch the speed. Nice and easy. Keep the line as we head in for a landing. Continue to descend here into Antigua. Let's get head tracking back on. Beautiful. Watch the altitude and the speeds there. Alright, final notch of flaps is set. And let's go. Landing gear can come down as well. Alright. Looking good here. Let's not descend too much. So flaps are full. We have TO power set again. Right on track coming into land here at VC Bird International Airport. Visibility is absolutely shot, but we will make do with that. Pouring rain here, but we're looking good.
Seabird Tower, good speed 5110, RNAV runway 07.
Good speed 5110, the Seabird Tower, wind 065
What?
at 16, runway 07 cleared to
This
land.
person behind me?
Runway 07 cleared to land, good speed 5110.
How are they clearing this person? I'm already on final. Come on, game, come on. They're clearing this person to land here on the same runway that I'm landing on. Gotta love it, bro. Gotta love it. Alright, let's see if we could find a runway. Go a little bit off to the left here. Alright, gear is down. Power is alright. Watch our airspeed there. A little slow. A little high as well, but we'll continue to descend here nicely. I believe I have the runway in sight. Straight ahead. Let's keep that going. Yep, that is the runway in sight. Landing lights are all set. Landing gear is down. Flaps full. Let's turn off the wipers here. A little bit high, but that's okay. Long enough runway. Alright, let's see if we could nail this landing. Our last landing in LIAT was not the best. You guys remember that? If you don't, I'll put a link to that video in the top right corner right now. But let's go ahead and land. We're a little high here. Not a little, very high, but that's okay. Watch that approach. Get some nose down action. Sync rate check. Let's get her into idle right now. Alright. Very high. But let's not slam her into the ground. $50 over the numbers, not bad. Throttle is in idle position. Nice flare. Bring her down gently. Very nice landing here. Very nice landing. We will take it. Let's get her in reverse. Let's get some stopping power here.
LIAT 020, exit next available taxiway.
We'll take this taxiway here. Then we kind of force that stop. Let's get off this runway.
Exit next available taxiway, LIAT 020.
Alright, welcome to Antigua, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for flying LIAT today. Pleasure
LIAT
having you on
020,
board.
contact ground 121.9er.
Alright, ground.
Ground 121.9er, LIAT 020.
Let's clean up the aircraft now. Let's get flaps retracted. Alright, our flaps are coming up.
FlexJet 457, taxi for departure.
And let's get landing lights off, taxi lights
FlexJet
on.
457, runway 07, taxi via Charlie, Bravo Alpha.
Runway 07, taxi via Charlie, Bravo Alpha, flex,
Wait for our
Jet
taxi
457.
instructions.
LIAT 020, request taxi to the ramp.
LIAT 020, welcome to VC Bird Airport. Stay parking or advise if need assignment.
We'll take ramp 9, I think is ripe with opportunity.
Request ramp 9er, LIAT 020.
LIAT 020, ramp 9er, taxi via Charlie.
Alright. Taxi via Charlie.
Ramp 9er via Charlie, LIAT 020.
So the aircraft here, it looks like on the ground. Please don't run into me, sir. As I taxi over here. Take it easy there. Let's get the idle gate on. Alright, idle gate is on. So we're not overspeeding, and I believe ramp 9 is right to our right here. Let's get to ramp 9. There is ramp 9. Coming in nicely here. Alright. Welcome to Antigua. Very nice flight. A little bit of weather coming in. And of course we have these guys parked all over the actual parking. So let's get on that line instead, following the marshaller over there, who is doing a terrible job. He's going to marshal us straight into that tug. We don't need that right now. People just came back from Carnival. They're ready to get back home, ready to go back to work. We don't need any injuries, so I'm going to ignore that marshal over there. Alright, let's stop right here. Get the parking brake set. Get the props to feather. Alright, everyone, welcome to Antigua. Alright, thank you everyone for joining us on this flight today, this LIAT flight back to Antigua. Please remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, let me know where you want me to fly next. Remember to hit the subscribe button if you're new here, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Check out one of these videos next.